Hello everyone and welcome to today's webinar. We're going to be talking all about planning and forecasting. Today's topic is managing financial and operational performance during uncertain times. And today we have with us Bhupendra Bhurdia, Managing Director at One Direction Global, one of IBM's partners based in Saudi Arabia and in charge of the MENA region.
Hello everyone.
Bhupendra.
Yeah, hi.
And then next we have Anil Kumar, SME and Solution Architect and expert in planning, budgeting, and forecasting. Hi, Anil. Welcome.
Hi, everyone.
Okay, so today it's a perfect time for this kind of, for our audience to talk about planning, budgeting, and forecasting. Because in times of uncertainty, which these are, businesses are required to develop dynamic processes. Wherever budgets are revised, new scenarios need to be considered. So today's topic, we're going to run through IBM's planning analytics software and take a look at how rapidly it can help change financial plans and targets by building multiple scenarios and analyses quickly and on the fly, help you visualize these scenarios, visualize how these scenarios can have multiple business effects across the company, including channel and business lines, and how you can empower your own decision-making. So I'd like to get this conversation started by asking what happens to a company that does not have a dynamic plan to adjust and change during unforeseen or risky economic times like these. So Bhupendra, I'm going to leave it to you to take it away and start to explain that.
Thanks a lot, Ellen. So I will just sharing my screen. Okay, hello everyone. Thanks for joining the webinar. And so today we'll discuss about the dynamic planning and forecasting. So what exactly the drive the results for your sales team? So for integrated sales planning solutions, let's discuss about that. So today objective for the webinar that we will start with the current challenges and the situations. We can see that how we can mitigate these challenges and the issues with the demo of the solution. And then we can discuss with the expert at how we can manage these challenges. So let's discuss about the customer pain points and the journey. So usually the customers, they are facing the challenges that it is very disconnected process because they have a different data sources, SAP, Oracle, and it's completely disconnect, no control audit. Still the company, they are using the Excel and the manual for planning and budgeting, which is very slow, and there is a lot of version of the Excel. It's very difficult for them to manage. There is a lot of duplicate and error. And the second, they are also facing the challenges of the lack of timely and reliable data, which is very, very important for the planning and budgeting forecasting. Second thing is that they can't get the root cause of that drivers of the issues, because that is more important to understand the root cause of any problem so we can take any action on the time. We can also very difficult to do the what if analysis. So that is also the some challenges they are facing. And the another challenges will be the resources not optimized use. So poor execution and monitoring of the planning and budgeting solutions. So these are the some of the customer pain point, and usually we have seen that. So the checklist for the key capabilities in the modern planning and forecasting solution. First will be the adaptive. So the forecasting and the planning model must be, it is adopt, and also it will be changed frequently. So because there is a requirement for the monthly forecasting, so because there is a dynamic environment, so we can see quickly adjust with the actuals or the trend basis of the actuals, and we can see the results updated. So we need the adaptive. Second, timely. Definitely that is the most important point that all the companies they are looking for. That is the timely, they want the results for the planning, budgeting, forecasting, so they can take the quick decision. Third item is the integrated. So planning, because the planning is their solution and the reporting is for the management. So everything should be the integrated, all the planning reporting solutions. So the management are up to date on the real-time basis. Fourth point, very important, is the collaborative. So the solutions should be, they can easily be accessed through the web access or from the mobile or from the iPad. You can access very well. Anywhere, any planner can access and they can input the figures. So, and with a secure connection, so that is also required. Self-service, that is really very important. So the business users, because they are the mainly focus on the planning budgeting. So it is self-service platform. So business users can they can do the planning budgeting. They can create their own dashboards without the dependency on the IT. Fourth is enterprise scale data capacity. So because nowadays there is a very huge, large data volumes, and we need some solutions where there is no limitations for the cube size, and it can handle a lot of complexities and calculations. And then we have efficient. So efficient means manager able to spend less time on managing the data and the planning forecasting, and spend more time on the managing and analyzing the business, and they can take the decisions, quick decision on that basis. Then relevant. So they need the something that which is very relevant to the current situations, because this is the COVID-19 and there will be a lot of business uncertainty. So it should be the relevant, their planning data. They can change it very flexible on the real time, and they can see the impact of what is the on this basis. Accurate, that is more important. The plan has to be very accurate without any error prone. So they can do the accurate planning and budgeting. Let's move the another solution. Why sales planning and forecasting required? This is the really very good question. Sales planning is required because the sales planning helps sales manager to predict their future activities. So they have a different type of products, they have a different channels, different customers. So they have to be planned very well on the basis of their territories. Yeah. Second is the demand planning. So this is really very important, proper planning and forecasting sales to get the estimate proper product demand. So they can focus on the specific channel and specific customers on that basis. Financial planning. So we need some solution which is very well integrated, the sales planning with the revenue and the financial statements of the company, because the finance is the backbone of any company. So the solution has to be integrated very well with the, so they can see if any changes in the sales, they can see the impact on the profit. Continuous improvement. So we need something forecasting solutions that we can do the continuous improvement. We can do the rolling forecast. So, and we can see the impact. Gain insight. So if the accurate sales forecasting is there, so we can gain insight and we can find out the customer behavior and the market behavior. So due to this uncertainty, and we can take the action on the right time in a proper way. Marketing benefit, that is the most important part. Everyone is looking for the sales planning forecasting. So they can easily find out due to this sales forecasting and planning exercise that where they can get the more benefit of marketing. Say that they can focus on the specific customers, or they can take the more product which is more sellable to the specific region, so they can focus on that. So that way, this is the important point also. Yeah. Let's move the demo and we will see whatever we have discussed, how it can resolve with the demo. So I will hand over to the Anil Kumar, who is our expert and for the planning, budgeting, forecasting. Yeah.
Yes, take it away, Anil. Looking forward to seeing this demo about IBM Analytics planning.
Sure. Thanks, Aline and Bhupendra. I'll just share my screen. Let me just take you through a simple forecasting exercise. Well, forecasting is a very vast process, but in this webinar, we would be focusing more on how to quickly adapt to the forecast directives given by your, say, management, how quickly you can adapt using the planning analytics software. So right now in front of you, what you're seeing is a CFO dashboard wherein he can view what was my current. Now, this is a fictitious company which is handling a electronics market, or they are selling PCs, phones, as well as mobiles. And this company is having their budget, forecast, and actual being floated out in this particular dashboard for CFO. So for the CFO dashboard, you can see that on a high level, he is in a position to see what is his gross revenue position by each and every markets that he have. So in Quebec, this is particular. I mean, 10 million is his gross revenue. In Ontario, it is 13 million. So that way, he will be in a position to see the different revenue numbers in each and every part of his organization. Along with that, he is also having a trend which shows that there is an actual trend which is only there up till June, because this date, I mean, this current setup is only holding your actuals up till June. And above that, you can see that there is a forecast line which is going on in your green color. And then also in the top, you can see the budget trend which is following. Now, let's assume that a particular scenario like today, I mean, let's take because of the COVID situation and all that, people are having a very tiresome mode in their sales activity and everything. So there would be quick directives coming from your top management, not necessarily CFO, it could be from the sales or anyone as such. So right now, what we are trying to do over here is that we already have a forecast line, and we would like to quickly adapt to 2 or 3 scenarios, which is being a directive provided by the top manager. So let's see what we are going to do in this demo. There are 2 forecast directives. That is, I mean, let's assume a hypothetical scenario wherein you have 2 directives from your top management. They need to do a region and time mix scenario wherein you make changes to your Q3 by 5% and 15% in Q4. Also increase your sales load in Western region by 1%. So that would be one kind of a scenario, and see the impact of that in your forecast. At the same time, they would also like to see a different scenario wherein there is a product channel mix combination, wherein you will be changing the laptop sales. You will be increasing your laptop sales by 5%, and the sales target of the online sales also will be increased by 10%. So these 2 scenarios which is there, we will see the impact of that in our forecast. Now, obviously the CFO will not be working on these kind of data. He would be the person who would be seeing the last impact of the data. So what we would be doing now is that we will go back and see how a particular analyst or a finance guy or a sales guy would be working on his numbers. Now, one of the cool thing about the planning analytics is that you have the capability to work the data within your dashboard. The write back capability of the dashboards are one of the main features which is there in planning analytics. So let me just show you how we can do it. Before that, let me just show you how the particular models are being aligned. So you can consider this as a high level dashboard for your business analyst or your salesperson. Now you can see that the product line is already listed out in the top corner table. So the product tablets, the tablets of 10-inch and 8-inch is there. The PC, the phones. If you expand the phones, you can see the phone only 3G for 4G smartphones and all those kind of things. So there are different product lines which is available. All these product line and its data up till now for the year. Budget, actual forecast. What is the full year budget forecast? When you expand that, you can see what is your Q1, what is the Q1 position. Scroll towards your right, you can see the Q2 position, and you can see that the Q3 and Q4 is blank for actuals because currently we don't have any data. So all our focus that we will be doing now is on our Q3. Now, one of the finest feature of planning analytics is that you don't have to directly go and start changing your forecast. You can try to play around in a temporary area, which we call as a sandbox. So there is a sandboxing feature which is attached with planning analytics, wherein you will be given a copy of the same forecast scenario, wherein you can play around with the new directives that has been provided by your management. So how would you do that? To do that, I would be first creating a sandbox. So to create a sandbox, I will just click over here and do a create sandbox. Quickly write our scenario 1. So the first scenario is region and time mix scenario. So I will just write and time mix. If you already have some existing sandboxes, you can obviously copy it from there. If you want to use the existing running data, then you normally choose base. So in this scenario, I would be choosing base. So what happens is that it automatically creates a copy of the exact scenario. You can see in the sandbox now I have a base and a region and time mix. So if you go to base, you will see the same data. If you go to region and time mix, you will see the same data. Now here where this is where actually I will start playing with my numbers. Now in this region time mix, it's just like having a copy of your Excel file. So I already have a file. I just do a Control C and Control V, and I get a copy of the file. So the same way, I'm just copying my existing workings over here. Every information, whether it is volume information, whether it is gross revenue, everything is copied as it is from my base data. So now let's try to do the impact of the directives. So my first directive is to have a 5% sales volume increase in Q3 and 15% in Q4. So how will I do that? I can go to individual products and do this particular change. That is one way of doing it. But one of the finest feature of planning analytics is that it has a spread capability by which it will allow you to increase your targets in the same pattern of your existing data. For example, let's use spread data. I will do a percentage change. I will do a 5% increase. I will add it to the current target. So my current number is 64,566, and I will do a addition of 5% to that data. On the spot, that 5% number is applied to the whole database or the whole forecast volume numbers, and you can see that it has been using the same pattern or trend which was already there in my base. So you can see every phone and every products underneath it is being impacted with that particular change. Now, as I said in the beginning, this is a temporary area. If you go to your original base, you can still see the original data. The 64,566 is still there, but I am working on my temporary area, which is my regional time mix, and I am playing around with the numbers over there. Now, the next directive which I was given was to increase my forecast by 15% in Q4. How will I do that? Now, the same method, I can use it. I can go to spread. Now, in the spread option, I have so many options. I mean, this is kind of, you can say, a shortcut to shortcut spreading mechanism, which normally a financial team would, or financial or planning team would be using. A proportional increase and equal split of data, repetition of same numbers throughout months, I mean, percentage changes, relative proportional spread. These are common spreading techniques which is being used for data entry while you are doing a planning exercise. So now over here, along with the spread option, you can also, I mean, the planning analytics also give you certain shortcuts by which you can do the same action which I did earlier. So here for increasing 15%, I can just write INC 15. So when I do that, a direct 15% is increased on my forecast, and the same effect is percolated down to each and every combination. Now, you can see that this particular impact that I have given is for every product's, every channel's volume. Now, let's see how it has impacted in other areas. Further going down, you can see if I choose my focus, because we are doing the change in the forecast, so I would choose my forecast scenario. So you can see that now by each product, by each, even to the lowest level, I mean, each and every SKU, you can SKU or the particular product item, you can say that the volume impact has been reflected or it has been changed. For each channels, you can see that the retail channel, see the proportional change has been applied to each and every channels, not just the channels, it has also been applied. So wherever there was no forecast, it's not applied. Wherever there was forecast, it has been applied. So the trend has been exactly copied from your base level. Now, if you see to go and see the company level, you can see the impact is also getting reflected over there. So let me just take randomly one area, that is Florida. So you can see that the Florida area is also impacted by this change. Now let's go back to the original numbers. So the syncing of the data. Now the change which I did over here, 67 for my Q3 and 80 for my Q4, both these numbers are applied by product, by channel, and organization. Now let me just see whether I have completed all my directives. So I can see that there is one more directive which was given, that is to increase my West region sales by 1%. So when I am browsing through my reports, I can see that there is a regional report which is available, East, West, Canada, and Central region. Now this is the area where I'm seeing my regional volume targets. So let's see how we can apply the second directive which has been given by our top management. Increase 1% of sales, or increase the sales load of West region by 1%. So how am I going to do that? Now you can see that in my revenue forecast analysis, you can see the regional split of my sales volumes. Now over there, the West region is 64 right now. Now, one of the beauty of planning analytics is that you can keep your target as it is and just change the proportion of each and every region. What I mean by that is that there is a feature called as hold. So if I hold this number, the number 272728 is preserved. Now I can go and increase my Western region target by 1%, I and C 1%. Now you can see that accordingly the East, Central, and Canada gets automatically adjusted so that my 272728 target is intact. See, the impact, the Western region is increased by 1%. Proportionally, the other part, East, Central, and Canada, has been adjusted so that my volume targets remains the same. Now, this kind of a changes is not easy to manage in other systems or even in a spreadsheet environment, because the pattern that you need to do, you have a lot of, and the main thing is that the chances of errors in a spreadsheet environment is more, or even in other systems kind of thing, because you need to go to many products, many regions. But over here, these impact or the change which I have done, you can see that it's completely applied to every item. So the new target, that is 64941, that is completely applied to each and every product line. 64941, that number is applied to each and every product line, every channels within that particular region. And even the countries inside it has been equally impacted by that 1% change. So you can see that it's a humongous number of data, or the scalability of the data which is there, that is too much. I mean, there is a lot of data that is being converted at this moment. And since you have a pre-built rules written for this one, it's easier for you to manage your change in a controlled fashion. Now, my first directive is done. So what will I do? Now I can see what is the impact of that by channel. I can see that impact in my channel level information. So the graphs are getting changed. The margin level details also gets changed. So you can see that there is some negative margin. Sorry, that is for one single product. Let me just take the whole product. So on an average, if you see over here, my original margin was around 10.74 in the distribution and all that. Even 35.51 was my total channel impact. So it has been pushed a bit to 35.65 in this one. And the individual channel margins is also being changed. Now the margin detail by quarter. And another thing that I would like to say is that since it's an integrated system, this one single change in your sales model is being impacted all over the model up till your financial statements. That is, let's see the income statement which is here. So the income statement is also reflecting the same kind of changes which you have already applied. So if I go back and check my current gross revenue, let's check gross revenue, the impact of the new changes or the first directives. Let's see that. So 8437, roughly 80.4 million. That's what my target is, revenue target is, and the same revenue target is rightly reflecting in my income statement. So it's a collaborated system wherein a change in your sales module is directly reflected in your financial statements as well. So all related modules gets seamlessly connected and getting the impact of the change, and it is directly reflected in your income statement. Now this income statement being in the same dashboard, I can just view it by each and every company, region, and every other major dimensionality of this business report. Now quickly, let me just show you how the next directive I will apply. So now I have applied a region time mix scenario. Now there are two methods by which I can apply my product channel mix. It could be, one could be applying it on my base scenario, or I can apply it to the existing region and time mix scenario. So over here, what I would be like showing you right now is I would be creating another sandbox, which would be my product and channel mix. And I can, if I want, I could choose it from my region and time mix, or I can choose it from my base. Right now, I would be, for simplicity, I would be, copying it from my base scenario. So I will take it from my base. Now you can see that again, my original number has come back, the 76, and all those numbers has come back. And now I would be again applying the changes to the same set of data. So my old targets, which was there, it is already available. And at the same time, you can see if I swap back to my regional mix, you can see my working of regional mix already over there. So product and channel mix. Now let's see my second directive. My second directive was to increase my laptop sales by 5% and also increase the whole online target, online channel, online sales target by 10%. So let's try to do that. Now, since it's a product-wise impact, I would rather, rather than doing it at a whole product total level, I would like to do it at a PC level. Sorry, it is for laptop, right? Yeah, it's for laptop. So I would go to the individual product, which is this product unit forecast. Over here, I will go to my forecast. 22430, that's my current volume unit target. So what I would be doing is that I will just increase it by, what is the number? 5%. So I will just use my spread mechanism, INC 5%. Now, when I do this, you can see that it has only impacted the numbers from July to December. The reason is I'm doing the forecast as of July or as of the month end of June. So I have my actuals up till June, so I cannot touch that part, but I will have to play around with my numbers from July to December. So you can see that the numbers is being edited only for that particular scenario, that is July to December, which is our forecast scenario. Now, again, the story remains the same. This particular single change of the single sales target change of 5% has applied to every product, every channels, and every organization. Just to show you the impact, I'll just randomly select one particular area. So you can see that the impact is reflected straight away within no time to every combination of your data. Now, the next directive which I have is to change my channel forecast. Now, the internet sales or the online sales, whichever is there, what I will do is that I have to increase it by 10%. So I can still, I mean, in the earlier case, what I did was I hold the number of the total volume, and then I made the change. But here, without holding, I would do the change. So let's do increase of 10%. So in this time, it will only change my internet targets or internet channel targets, and it will increase or shoot up my total volume by 10%. Now you can see the same impact of margins and everything. I mean, the same analysis, you can see it by this particular sandbox, and by every channel or say margin level information, everything will be reflected with the same thing. So now if on this, let's take being in the margin in tab, I would like to see what was my base impact. So in my base 35, I mean, you can see the switch of the products because certain products has given more weightage. So the particular graph has impacted with that change. So the base is showing me 35.51 as my total, and my internet is 40.31. Now, if I go to my regional time mix, it was 40.57 and my total margin was increased by 35.65. And in this one, I am having a better result, that is 35.83 is my margin. Now, all this impact, as I explained earlier, is reflected all over my reports up till the P&L level. So this is how you quickly adapt to your scenario changes or the directive changes, which is quickly being happening in today's thing. So in this particular timeline, you can say that within this webinar, I mean, to do these two directives, I took hardly, let's take 5 to 10 seconds. 5 to 10 minutes. That's the max that I have taken. So in this, I have put 2 or 3 kind of directives into my existing forecast plan, and the impact has already been reflected. Now, one of the finest thing is that you can still choose not to accept any of these forecasts, and you can ask your CFO to verify this. Now, how will I do that? The CFO will also get the same sandbox, and he can choose to see what is my current scenario. So if I change my region time, I mean my base to region time mix, you can see okay, we need to hold on. So now whatever impact of the sales directives or the forecast directives that we have given, that has been already been applied at the business analyst or say the sales team end. Now the question is, should I accept this forecast or should I have a review on it? Now the thing, one of the beauteous thing of our planning analytics tool is that these sandboxes can quickly be viewed by the CFO or the CFO dashboard itself. The same information, as I said earlier, it's a collaborative model. The changes that has been done on the model can be straight away reflected in the dashboards of the CFO. So he can even view what is the impact of the changes. So right now, I am currently back to my CFO dashboard. You can see that this is my original position of forecast, wherein I have my base data, that is 76 million of gross revenue. I'll try to change my base to regional time mix. In that impact, you can see that there is a 80.4 gross revenue which is being reflected. At the same time, there is no change in the marketing data or something. So the places where there is a change, you can see the highlighted blue color thing, and the places there is no change, it will remain as it is. So it says that my marketing charges or my marketing expenses is same as what was there in my base data. And this is my third scenario wherein I have 79.4 million as my gross revenue. Now, this is where the review happens, and jointly or collaboratively, the team can choose to have either the base or the region time mix or the product channel as their final forecast. Now, once you choose this particular, let's assume that I am choosing, since I have a better gross revenue on my regional time mix, what I would be doing is that I can just choose to apply this particular, there is a commit data option. I just do a commit of this one. I'll do it. So what it would be doing is that it will overwrite my base data. Now from this point onwards, my base data, which was my 76 million, it's gone, and the new forecast has been accepted. Now the same thing is getting reflected also in my individual dashboards. So if I go back over here in my product and unit, you can see that if I go to my base, my base is reflecting with new numbers, which was my 8747, and also the holded number which I had 272728. So the whole model is synced, collaborative, and also it holds a lot of data, and the number crunching or the changes that you make to your forecast becomes easier and manageable within short timeline. This is what in today's scenario you would be looking at. This will help you in creating multiple scenarios in uncertainty periods, and we surely believe that this kind of a system will help you in managing your planning and forecasting exercise. That's all from my end. Thank you, everyone.
Awesome, Anil. So this is, to our audience, something that you could use, and I think that most organizations can use something like this. It's incredible tools for forecasting and budgeting, and to see how things change across your entire organization in real time in all different kinds of scenarios. Obviously, there's been a very big scenario that most of us have had to deal with in 2020, but in all years, there's always something that happens and the market fluctuates or whatever. So if this is your problem, and then you can see the value in this tool, and you need a personalized demo for your business, then get in touch with One Direction Global today. I want to thank Bhupendra and Anil for this, laying it out for us and taking the time to explain all the different aspects of this. And I know that's a very powerful tool, and there's so much more to it. So hopefully we'll hear more from you soon.
Bye. Thanks, Anil.